Hello, welcome to day 5 of this 7-day winter yoga retreat. So, today is just about finding what feels good for you. So, sometimes as mothers, we're so busy doing everything for everyone else, looking after everyone else, caring for everyone else, that we don't take the time to just be by ourselves with our own thoughts and turn those thoughts onto our own self-care and looking after ourselves. I often hear of mums getting so disconnected from themselves that they don't even know what they enjoy doing anymore. So especially after bub number 1, when you're still in that fog and your whole life's been tipped upside down and you're not really sure whether what you used to do and what you used to enjoy doing is still you. You sort of feel different. You enjoy different things. So today's practice is about reconnecting and going with what feels good for you. So there is no room for excuses in today's practice because you don't need to excuse yourself. So if what feels good for you is that you curl up in a little ball and take a 10-minute nap, go for it. If what feels good for you is to go back to one of the stronger practices or the more restorative practice, or go back to the seated meditation, go back to that. If what feels good for you is just to follow my flow, maybe add some of your own poses in, then that's what you do. So it's about you. You need to make the choice and you need to give yourself permission to make that choice. So I'm going to flow through something that feels good for me. May not feel good for you. Some of it won't be standard yoga, some of it's just me moving. You won't find it in a yoga book, but it feels good for me. So I encourage you to do the same for yourself and give yourself the same gift today. Let's get going. So let's come into a regular tabletop. Instead of doing our up cat, down cat today, I'm just going to take circles with the hips, so really rounding through the spine. You could even come back and sit down. Really making space through that upper body. You might go one way and the other. Or you might go all the way around. Totally up to you. And one of my favorite poses is to just shift the arms forward and let the heart sink. So puppy pose, really opening up through that heart. Squeezing the elbows in so that the upper back stretches, chin comes to the floor. Staying with the breath. So if your chin doesn't come comfortably to the floor, you could just come to the forehead. If it's not comfortable opening so much, you can come back. So find what feels good for you. And then I like to stretch out through that upper back by taking one arm under and then really pushing the floor away. Make some nice space through that upper back. And then exhale, let's swap sides. And then inhale, coming back up. So I'm going to move into a bit of a hamstring stretch. My hamstrings are always giving me grief. So drawing the toes back. And then inhale, lifting the heart forward. And I'm not trying to get my nose towards my knee. I'm just going to lift the heart forward so that I can find length through the back of that body. So you might be up quite high. You may even need to be up all the way up here. Just keep breathing. If it feels good for you, you may like to increase coming up into a pyramid pose. So inhale again, lifting the heart forward. And then coming back down. So I'm going to take a seat back towards my heels. Draw the toes back. So again, still hamstring stretches, but it's different. Inhale, lift the chest forward and just folding gently from the hips. Inhale, back up to bring the weight back up into the knees. Step that foot forward. I'm going to come all the way back to child's pose. I'm going to take the knees wide. Hold onto the heels and just take a gentle rock from side to side. It's almost like massaging through the forehead and temple. And then from your child's pose, you might like to join me reaching the hands forward, tucking the toes under, brief stretch out and down dog, and then step that left foot all the way long. Turn the toes in, inhale, lift the chest, exhale and fold. So you'll notice a lot of what feels good for me is all this back of the body lengthening. It might not be for you. You might be more into the heart opening, in which case find one of the other classes in the studio and work with that. You might like to breathe over to each side. And then come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, take a seat. Coming to a wide leg forward fold. Finding length in each side of the body. Inhale, backing up. Other side. And then inhale, back to center, draw the feet together. I like to find a diamond first, so it's a little bit of a more gentle stretch for this hip, inhaling and coming forwards. And just letting the hip settle into this stretch. And then maybe bringing the feet in a little bit closer and working them down a little bit further. So I've been having a bit of trouble with this hip. I'm not sure what its problem is. Just go easy. I think through these years where we've been pregnant and having babies, you get all these sort of strange aches and pains, and it's just about being gentle with the body, being gentle with the self, and really taking the time to look after the self. All right, so I'm going to finish my practice today with a seated meditation. There are a lot of guided ones over in the studio if you'd like to be guided, or just sit with me, find some quiet, find some time to really just think your own thoughts. Maybe you don't want to do a meditation at all. Maybe go find a cup of tea and enjoy the whole thing, start to finish, nice and hot. Maybe go sit in the sunshine with a book, run around after your kids, whatever it is that feels good for you, because that's what today's practice is about. Now, the second part that I'd like to encourage you to do today is to make a list of all of those little self-care practices that make you feel amazing. So I'm not talking about big, luxurious spa treatments or anything like that, which awesome. But the reality is most of us don't have the money for that. So I'm talking about things like a warm bath with your favorite oils, a glass of wine, some dark chocolate, sitting in the sun reading a book, your favorite cup of tea, any of these things that make you feel amazing. So I know for me, I often get into this habit of just looking after everyone else and getting caught up in everything I have to do for everyone else, for work, for the kids, for the home. And sometimes I forget that just these little things can make such a difference. So if you can try and include one or a couple into your day or even into your week, and I'm sure you'll find that it makes a huge difference to how you feel overall. So thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you found what felt good for you. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.